everybody. Hope you're having a nice day so far and had a happy Thanksgiving and a nice break. To introduce myself, my name's Sean Gorman. I work as the recruitment coordinator for the employer relations team within the Tufts Career Center. I'm here with Sue Atkins, who's an associate director of employer relations in the Career Center. Today, we're going to be talking about the Jumbos4Jumbos alumni student program and specifically the winter 2025-2026 iteration of it. And right now I'll get my screen going, and Sue, once I have that up,
Mhm.
can you please tell me if you can see it so we know everyone's got it.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll be taking questions throughout the session, so you can either put them in the chat, come off a mute to ask your questions. So we're pretty informal, so feel free to stop us along the way if there's questions. So feel free to reach out. And I did put some Jumbos for Jumbo student FAQs from our website in the chat, so you have something to refer to after the session today.
Wonderful. And Sue, can you see it all now? I think it
Yeah,
should
it's
be so.
perfect. Yep,
Perfect. All
you're
right,
good to
sweet.
go.
Awesome. Yeah. So, like I said, everybody, this is just the student info session for the Jumbos4Jumbos program for winter 2025-26. So, over your winter break. So let's get into it. All right. So, just to get into the agenda for the presentation, we're going to be talking about what the J4J program is, why participate in a J4J project, talk a little bit about compensation, how that works, expectations for the program, utilizing the website that the program is operated through, that being the HERD, Tufts' alumni student networking and community engagement website. Talk about important dates, and then we can answer any questions. I'll say, since we have a bunch of people on there, if you do have any questions you want to ask to me directly after the presentation on this Zoom, like in front of the group, please do so after I'm done, and we'll have a period to ask those questions. But if not, Sue will be monitoring the chat the whole way, like she said. So any questions can be sent in there as well. So, to talk about the J4J program, it's essentially for current Tufts students to work with alumni on specific projects or micro internships, as it were. So, this is for current freshmen and seniors, and for students who are a part of Tufts this academic year and also going through the whole academic year. So, people graduating in December 2025 wouldn't be eligible, but students who have been a part of Tufts for the entirety of the fall 2025 to spring 2026 academic year are eligible to participate in the program regardless of class year, freshman through senior. This is open to all undergraduate students, so in the School of Arts and Sciences, School of Engineering, and the School of the Museum of Fine Arts. And the whole point, like I said, is to work with Tufts alums who want to give back to the community that they were once a part of and assist Tufts students in building up short-term project-based work experience. Um, the projects themselves are designed to be specific projects. They're not full internships, especially for this iteration where J4J would only be a few weeks long over winter break. But to help alumni with specific projects they are working on at work, and then give students like yourselves experiences that can be added to your resume, that you can talk about in interviews, that you can just utilize to build upon your professional skills as you think more about how you want to go about your career, what things you might be interested in, and use that along with your studies as well. Just generally, the positions may be paid or unpaid. The expectations regarding pay will be made clear to you by the alums, posting each project that is currently up on the herd, so you would know what you're signing up for, whether a paid or unpaid opportunity. Of course, if an unpaid opportunity doesn't work for you, like I said, you'll know, and you don't have to apply to that position. Projects are, supposed to be specifically skills based, like I said. So building up skills and things like I've mentioned here, data analysis, website design. We've had people write or illustrate for books, is one unique one I've thought of, but a lot of different opportunities that come up where students can build specific skills in the industries and field that they are interested in. So then to go to the next slide, to talk more about what the program is, it's specifically a micro internship and project program. This, iteration of it running through winter break. So that is December 22nd, 2025 to January 14th, 2026. These projects that are posted by alumni can really vary in length based on their needs and, what they're willing and able to supervise. They can last anywhere between a few hours for or up to the duration of the entire winter break or even beyond if that's something that an alumni wants to host a project for. But in our, typical experience, up to the length of the winter break. Applications for these projects are open as of today. So if you go on the herd, you're able to apply to whatever projects you're looking to apply for. All hires by alumni are supposed to be made by December 31st, although they know the length of the winter break and that students will be starting that on Monday, December 22nd, and that is really an effective date to start their projects. But of course, it's up to them and based around their professional and personal schedules. Um, in terms of the application process for these projects, it's a lot like applying to any regular internship or job. Alumni will all be requesting resumes from student applicants. Some may request a professional cover letter, as you would see in an internship or job posting. And all positions will, for candidates that are qualified and alumni want to interview, will conduct virtual interviews, and then ultimately the alum who's hiring for a student will make a decision on who they ultimately would like to hire. The program also runs during Tufts summer break, so that's early June through late August. So those projects are, able to be a bit longer than the ones we're offering right now for the winter break. But just so you are all aware, this is a program that runs during both the summer and winter break. Projects are designed to be virtual. We obviously understand that for winter break, you could be anywhere all over the United States or all over the world. So the projects are designed to be done virtually so that you can do it while being wherever you need or want to be for winter break. Projects, like I said, are posted on the herd. And monitored through there as well. And students should be submitting all application materials through that website. So it's a nice streamlined process for alumni and for students as they apply to interview for and participate in projects. So to talk more about what it is, like I had mentioned earlier, a big part of the purpose is to build up hard professional skills, but also soft skills and gaining meaningful professional experience when you may have more time outside of your regular academic schedule. In terms of the soft skills that can be built up, as listed here, you're able to develop a professional relationship with a supervisor and someone who, more than that, is a former Tufts student. So you can learn how to build professional relationships, communication, meeting deadlines, things like that, along with hard skills that could vary vastly depending on which project you ultimately would participate in. Um, Beyond building those skills itself, it's a good resume booster, something to put on as a professional experience and something that can be discussed when you ultimately are interviewing for full-time roles or internship positions or whatever else down the line. As people would ask you about your professional experiences and what makes you you and what are you passionate about and what are you good at. So talking more about what the projects will be. We've already covered that they're remote and short-term project-based positions. They are designed, and we tell alumni that they are supposed to have intentional learning objectives where you have a clear understanding of what you are supposed to be learning and what you will be learning, and the specific skills that you are picking up through these projects so that you're not just, of course, completing tasks and building those skills, and that's all great. But we want you to, of course, have an understanding of what you're getting better at as well. And that's been communicated to alumni. Supposed to promote academic, career, and personal development and involve related soft skill development as well, as I'd mentioned. We've made it clear to alums that these projects should not include more than 20%, one-fifth spent time spent on administrative work. That can often be a pitfall of positions like these when you're, working with someone who is a college student, a recent graduate, an entry-level professional, that a lot of administrative work can be put on them. We understand that for the vast majority of you, that's likely not what you're looking for, and that's not what we want to have happen for you. So we've made it clear to alumni that these positions are designed not to be an administrative support assistant, but instead to have the tough students build up specific professional skills through applicable projects that are more advanced. So they understand that. And then beyond that, we've also told them that the projects are designed for them to have regular check-ins with whoever they hire in order to build that professional relationship and, give a good example of what a boss employee relationship should look like in a professional environment, and also provide mentorship and support, as of course they understand, being former tough students themselves and also younger professionals than they are now, that you all are exploring lots of different options and likely have lots of different ideas as to what your professional journey could look like as you move forward. So providing guidance as to what theirs looked like, helping you work through yours, one step at a time. That's also a goal of these projects, and that's been communicated to alumni as well. So projects, like I have said, can vary widely in terms of industry focus, and scope. Here's some examples here. Helping a published author translate her book into a different language, researching colleges for a comedian to visit for shows, creating marketing plans, performing SEO analysis. These are four examples of a long list of examples of what projects can look like. And if you go onto the herd right now, I think there are about 11 projects submitted. Alumni have a week longer to submit projects, so a lot of them will be doing that after Thanksgiving break, so that number will go up, of different examples of what can be offered, beyond even what's listed here. In terms of compensation, like I had said earlier, projects can be paid or unpaid. We've told alumni that for paid projects, the pay schedule and payment process is determined by them, whether that's a lump sum payment, you're getting paid weekly, you're getting paid upon completion of the project. We have told them that whatever it may be, we want that to be communicated clearly to whoever they hire, so that, of course, you and the alum you're working with are on the same page, of what is expected, so that there's no gaps in communication or misunderstandings surrounding that. For these projects, we've also made it clear students cannot receive school credit. That's not something that Tufts is able to offer, whether the position is paid and you have a set pay schedule, or it's unpaid. For international students specifically, we recommend and actually require, that international students consult the International Center prior to pursuing an opportunity through J4J. International students should receive CPT authorization, whether the position they take on, if they ultimately take on a position, is paid or unpaid. We've included a link to CPT eligibility and requirements for positions, and that applies to J4J as well. And because unfortunately, ineligibility for CPT may result in ineligibility to participate in the J4J program. That's why we wanted to loop in the International Center here, who frankly understands these regulations better than us, but also provide all the resources we can for international students, as the process for these, just like for internships and full-time applications, can look different. In terms of program expectations, so expectation for students is, one, during the application process, which obviously has opened as of today, is to read opportunities thoroughly and make sure that you understand what is expected of you, and in terms of everything related to the job. That could be in terms of time commitment, in terms of understanding of different skill sets, what you may be working on. It could be whether the opportunity is paid or unpaid. We want to make sure that you are reading through each opportunity on the herd thoroughly before applying, so that you have a full understanding of what you are getting yourself into and that there is no misunderstanding with the alum you'd be working with later on down the road. If you are hired for a project, you are expected to see the project through to completion. As we've laid out, these projects are designed to be from Monday, December 22nd to January 14th, when all students come back to Tufts. The alumni are allowed to work within those dates really for these projects. If the dates are slightly different, they'll be able to communicate that to you, of course, but the expectation is whatever is expected of you, you would complete that all the way through. Another expectation, just like with any internship job or otherwise, is to maintain consistent communication with your supervisor throughout the program. That includes the interview process. Whether you interview for a position and ultimately aren't interested in it, or interview for a position and are. You're expected to be professional the entire way through. And of course, this is a good opportunity to build upon, interview etiquette, professional skills. That's all of that. And the alumni understand that it's an expectation of them to communicate with you consistently throughout the interview and job process as well. So, in terms of how to apply for projects, we've mentioned that this is all facilitated through the herd. New projects are still able to be added. So, while there are some up today, I would recommend continuing to check back because we have told alumni that they are allowed to post projects through the end of next Monday. So, they still have another week to do it. And with many of them coming back from Thanksgiving holidays with their families, there is a good chance that more will pop up. So I would continue to keep an eye on it, even though applications have already opened. Submit applications directly through the site. That is where alumni will be checking them. They won't be checking them anywhere else. They'll be checking them directly through the herd. So that is the place to be submitting applications. They are allowed to ask for a resume, cover letter, everything else. Expectations are exactly that of a real job or an internship. So exactly as you'd apply for that, you should be applying for this with a full professional resume, with a full professional cover letter if requested. If any other materials are requested as well, you're expected to submit those with the utmost professionalism as well. Alumni, since they are the supervisors, will be the ones reaching out to schedule an interview with you if they think you're a good fit, and ultimately be the ones communicating with you through the application process and through the job process, like I said, since they will be facilitating their own projects. Of course, that's done through the herd, but since there's a supervisor, it would work as it would with any supervisor at an internship or a full-time job. How to view projects in the herd. So if you go into the herd website, when you're on the homepage, you're able to find that on the career tab at the top of the website, and specifically in the projects tab, since these Jumbos for Jumbos program are labeled as projects. So yeah, specifically through the projects tab is where you find it. And then you're able to search once you're in that projects tab, all of what is offered. You're able to see, as you can see here, the duration of the projects, the compensation for the projects, when applications or other materials may be due. You're likely seeing 3 months here since these screenshots were taken from the summer program. The ones you'll be seeing now are going to be much more aligned with winter break. But just an example of what you would see when searching through the open projects and what you're able to apply for the program. So to re-highlight the key dates, the program dates are exactly Tufts' winter break. So that's starting Monday, December 22nd. That is going through the first day of classes back for the spring 2026 semester, January 14th, 2026. Student applications are open as of this morning, as shown here, and alums are required to confirm student hires by Wednesday, December 31st. If, of course, they're starting a project before then, they're going to confirm a hire before then. But if, they're not starting it before the new year, they're required to confirm a hire by December 31st. And in terms of communications from the Career Center, you should expect to receive a check-in email midway through the break to see how it's going, and a post-program evaluation at the end of it, just to hear how it's gone. We obviously love to hear all sorts of feedback. I know I've made a note of, hearing good testimonials and a good experience so we can advertise it for all students as we think it's a valuable program. But of course, we want to hear all feedback, positive or negative, surrounding the program. Um, and then in terms of links and resources, I know that, through registration, I should be able to easily find your information and can send this slide deck along as well. And this is all the links for information regarding the program that you can reference. And that would be it. So, in terms of questions, anything else, I'd be happy to answer. And I'm sure Sue's been chatting with some people as well. But appreciate again for all of you for coming and hope you apply to a bunch of projects.